This is Phil from Professional Beauty, and we are pleased to welcome you to our next webinar this morning. We have Lauren Gibson from Dermalogica, who's going to be giving us a great little talk on sustainability. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you will see on the bottom of your screen the Q&A area, if you would like to type any questions you have there, then Lauren will do her best to answer those queries at the end of the presentation. So thank you very much for that, and over to you, Lauren.
Thanks so much, Phil. Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me virtually today. I think it's great that Pro Beauty is doing these virtual webinars. It's a way for us to connect. So thank you for joining me in my lounge today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lauren Gibson. I have worked at Dermalogica South Africa for the last 8 years, 6 years as the regional manager. I'm a qualified therapist, so I know how all of you are itching to get back out there and see your clients. And I've also done a postgraduate diploma at the Graduate School of Business with UCT, and that's really where I found this newfound love for sustainability. So I'm going to take you through ebbs and flows of sustainability over the next couple of minutes, and hopefully it gets your thinking caps and your creative caps going. So our world is changing rapidly, and unfortunately the rate of change is a lot faster than the rate of knowledge that we're acquiring. So our ability to be agile, our ability to be able to adapt has become more and more relevant, and I think even more so now, given that we're going through the COVID-19 situation. You know, people talk about the fourth industrial revolution, but we're actually in it. And flying cars are here, and robotics are here. So, you know, thinking that that stuff is still coming, you might have to kind of rewire your brain to realize that that stuff is already here, and it's constantly evolving quicker than we know. So the need for human and business and organizational sustainability is needed more now than it's ever been needed. And I think that's why there's quite a big focus on sustainability as a social trend. Now, I know when I was younger, people always said to me, you know, when you get older, time will disappear and life will become crazy. And I don't think I realized that until this week. But you know, life has got busier and crazier than ever before. And to those of you doing this with children and homeschooling, I really do take my hat off to you, because, you know, the busyness is what creates the chaos. And the busyness is when organizations start forgetting about people, they start forgetting about sustainability, and often that's where profits are put first. So, you know, what's important here is when I talk about organization, it's just the language that I use. You could replace organization with business, with salon, with skincare center. So my language is to use organization. So please don't think this applies to big corporates only. And there's definitely been a shift towards mindfulness, self-care, holistic well-being, and of course, sustainability. So, you know, if we unpack those things, they're actually practices that have been around for ages. So, you know, mindfulness has been practiced for centuries and is now becoming once again, a big trend and a very, very helpful tool. Self-care is something that mindful practitioners have again been doing for years. And now it's being punted that we need to be doing this constantly, especially in the COVID-19 situation. Holistic well-being speaks to, you know, looking at your body from a holistic point of view. So mental health, your soul's well-being, your physical well-being, what you're putting into your body and what you're putting on your body. And then, of course, sustainability. And I think there needs to be a bit of a shift with sustainability, because when we say sustainability, we always automatically go to environmental concerns. And while that is absolutely prevalent, sustainability actually means a lot more than just the environment. So I guess I want to pull all of this together and explain why I'm talking on sustainability. I've got a massive passion for organizational sustainability and of course environmental. So how can we look after the earth and the world? but how can we also look after our own businesses and the people within our businesses? I am a mindful practitioner and a yoga teacher. So, you know, the fact that the world is shifting towards self-care and mindfulness and moving your body makes me very happy. And I've also watched the industry evolve and seen the trends that have ebbed and flowed through our industry. And yes, sustainability has been one of them, but it definitely hasn't been a key focus, which it's now becoming. So if we look at the definition of sustainability, it's the ability to be maintained at a certain rate or level to ensure economic growth, as well as the avoidance of depletion of natural resources in order to maintain that ecological balance. So yes, absolutely, there's definitely an environmental focus, but I do think we need to start looking at how can we make our businesses and organizations more sustainable? How do we apply a holistic approach to our business to ensure that we allow for that expansion and for that growth? So something that I like to work with is what I call the sustainability triangle. And this triangle allows you to make better choices for the greater good. So it's broken into external, internal, and people. External, speaking to anything that's outside of your business. So any suppliers, any people who assist you with running your business. So maybe you use a laundry service, maybe there's a caterer that brings snacks into your business, maybe there's a tax accountant that you outsource. Then of course you've got internal. So internal in this regard would be anything you are doing inside of your business to lead to sustainability. And then the third point of the triangle, which I'm probably the most passionate about, is people. So what are you doing with your people? What are you doing for your people? And how are they adding value to your business? So what I've done is just popped a few things into these three different categories. Now, by no means is this the exhaustive suggestions. It's more of a guideline and a talking point for us to go through because we don't have all day to go through this. So I'm going to start with external, and I've called them suppliers, but basically, like I said, this is anyone who's adding value into your business from an external point of view. So let's talk about your suppliers and their brand ethos. So, you know, if you're going to talk about sustainability and that's something you want to punt in your business, you've got to look at the brands you have in your business and are they talking that same language? So is their brand ethos aligned with your business's brand ethos? That's step one. Step two is, does their brand ethos show in the results that they're doing? So if they say they do one thing, are you seeing that in a form of action, in a form of support, in a form of giving back to you as a business, but also to the industry? Something else you can look at is packaging and delivery methods. So yes, speaking about environmental sustainability, are their packages recyclable? Are they biodegradable? Do they use a particular ink on the boxes and packaging that doesn't harm the environment? Great, that's amazing. But then how does that product get into your business? So what is that product's journey, and how does that product's journey add to the carbon footprint, the emissions, when the product arrives in your business? How is it packaged? So is it in a recyclable box? Does it come with bubble wrap, or is it in recyclable shredded paper that you could reuse? These are all small things that, you know, as a somebody who's working with suppliers, you could highlight these to your suppliers to, you know, ask them how can they do different, or how can they add value to environmental sustainability. Then there's the long and short-term plans. So yeah, it's important to know the businesses you are working with, or your suppliers you're working with, what are their plans for the next 6 months? What are their plans for the next year? What are their plans for the next 5 years? And I think a great example of that is Uber. So yes, they're not in our industry, but Uber's got a 2025 plan linked to sustainability, and it's called the Clean Air Plan, that they want to have all Uber cars completely carbon emission free by 2025. So what that means is they want all those cars to be electric, and they're actually incentivizing drivers to move over to this new way of being or this new normal. So I think that's pretty amazing. And for me as a consumer, that makes me want to choose Uber as my ride-hailing preferred partner, because I know that they've got a bigger purpose and a bigger plan. Then there's brand associations. So, you know, the brands you've got on your business, who are they associating themselves with? And does that speak to sustainability? Does it speak to growth? Does it speak to looking after the environment? Because association is, you know, just as common as working directly with that brand. And then, of course, there's the Recycle loyalty program. So do your suppliers incentivize you or incentivize your consumers to actually recycle their products? So whether it's their boxes or the actual empty products, is that something that they reward you with or offer a kickback? Moving into internal, and this is where you can have an impact in your salon and in your business. And again, this is quite exciting because here the opportunities are endless. So one of the options is a gifting policy. So what I mean by that is all of you sell gift vouchers, and you know, there's nothing better than getting a beautifully wrapped gift voucher from your favorite spa or salon. But you could create a gifting policy where you actually ask your clients, do they want to use tissue paper? Do they want it in a gift bag? And do they want an envelope? You know, that's one aspect. And the other aspect is you could actually incentivize them for bringing those things back to you to reuse if they're in a good condition and if they speak, you know, to your brand. You definitely don't want to be reusing envelopes that look grubby. But that is a way of recycling, and that is a way of ensuring that we're not increasing waste. Then, of course, there's the recyclable and disposable consumables. So the consumables you are using in your business, you know, you've got to weigh up that cost of, do I pay a little bit more to have something that is environmentally friendly, or do I buy the cheapest option from the cheapest supplier because I need to watch my bottom line? And, you know, guys, both of those are not bad decisions to make. You know, one decision, watching the bottom line, which we all have to be cautious of at the moment, is making sure you've got a sustainable business in the future. But maybe there's a way to balance both. Maybe there's a way to use recyclable and disposable that comes in at a better price. So you're looking after your bottom line, but you're also looking after the environment. Then the toss-up between having towels and doing cleaning or using disposable bedding. Now, as creepy as some of you might think this is, this might become our new normal. I have been chatting to a few of our business owners who have already started investigating disposable bedding, given the fact that we are in COVID-19 and we've got to be careful with the, you know, movement of the virus. But you've got to weigh up, what is the cost of buying new towels, having them laundered, or using my own washing machine, not only from a price point of view, but from a carbon footprint point of view and a chemical point of view, versus using disposable, recyclable bedding that might become our new normal. Then there's homemade refreshments. So as much as we'd love to offer our clients bottled branded water or our favorite brand of iced tea, we've got to remember that majority of the time that comes in plastic bottles or aluminium, which is obviously not environmentally friendly. So a great example here is you could either create a custom drink that is specific to your salon. You could offer beautiful flavored waters in beautiful glass jugs. Or you could make your own iced tea. It's a great way to recycle tea bags as well. So, you know, that kind of makes your business unique. And I'm starting to notice that consumers are wanting more and more of that. They're wanting that unique experience. And they're wanting to take the better decision or the environmentally better decision. And then, of course, what is your Recycle loyalty program? So what do you offer to your consumers in your business if they bring back empty products, if they bring back, you know, beautiful gifting that you could reuse? So those are little things you could think about that could help in your business. And then moving across to people. So with people, you know, they share the load to share the legacy. Now, I get it. I'm a type A personality. For those who know me, I like to have a certain level of control in situations. And as a business owner, I can only imagine it's your business. You've invested everything into it. and you want to own that, and you really want to control it. But sometimes we have to share some of the things we do with other people, because not only does it allow the continuation of your business should, God forbid, anything happen, but it also ensures that there is legacy that continues throughout your business, which all in all speaks to sustainability. Then there's roles and responsibilities. So roles and responsibilities kind of links into my first point of sharing the responsibilities with your team. So if you've got a new young junior therapist and she loves social media and you're always moaning at her for being on her phone, put that to good use. Get her to start driving your social engagement. Get her to start focusing on your Instagram and your Facebook. Because, guys, we've been saying this for years, and I think it's even more relevant now in COVID. We do not have an option. Business has to be digitally noticed. We have to have a digital presence. And, out of sight, out of mind. So get your young therapists or your therapists who love digital to run this for you. I'm in my 30s, so I'm not calling myself young, but I definitely love social. And it's a great way to share the offerings in your business. It's a great way to share how you are being sustainable, and for you to speak to social trends. Then, of course, there's succession planning and personal development plans. So I'm going to link the two of those together. Personal development plans and succession planning really gives people a purpose and more than just their role. It allows them to know that there's a future, which speaks to their sustainability. Succession planning speaks to, how do I go from being a junior therapist to a senior therapist, to a head therapist, to a manager, to a shareholder in the business. And some of you are able to do that in your skin centers, and some of you won't be, and that's okay. So how does succession planning look for your team in your business? And then how do you help them get to those places? So what are their career goals and what are their personal goals? And how do you help facilitate that? So a personal and professional goal could be that Susie wants to go on a microblading course because she wants to add that to her skill set. Yes, she's out the business, it's an expense, you might have to pay for some of it, but the long-term sustainability is she could bring new clients into your business, she could bring a revenue stream into your business that you didn't have before, and she's taken initiative and put up her hand. So sometimes we've got to be open to those new things. And then lastly, under people, is quarterly meetups and planning. And I think, step one is, are you planning your business? So there's business planning, which you should be doing in July and August for the following year. B, there's crisis planning, like we've all had to do now. So I understand it's been hard and scary, and a lot of us just want to lie under the duvet covers. I get that. I've had those days. But this is actually a time for us to be able to do things that we don't have time to do because we're stuck back to back with treatments or managing staff. So use this time to plan ahead for your business, even if it's just for 2 months. And then quarterly meetups are important because it's good to get your team's feedback on what is working in the business and what isn't working in the business according to those plans. Because not only does that allow buy-in from the team, but it also allows their involvement. And by that way, you create a sustainable business with a long-standing team. So some other suggestions linked to sustainability, there's definitely, carbon footprint, understanding carbon footprint a little bit better, knowing what your carbon footprint is and how you can help offset that. So let's be honest, guys, as much as we try our best to have zero carbon footprint, some of us will have a carbon footprint. And there is a way for you to have a carbon offset, where you can contribute to programs such as composting or planting trees, or there's a variety of different offset programs where you can actually contribute towards the planet to try and help offset the carbon footprint and emissions that are happening in the world. Other suggestions to allow for business sustainability is reevaluate your offering in your salon or your business. Are you offering things that are relevant? Are you still offering the same services you've been offering for 15 years? Because if you haven't upped your game and tweaked a few things and added in some new treatment interventions, your consumers could look elsewhere, because consumers are absolutely creatures of habit, and we're very lucky that they're loyal to us as therapists, but they also love new, exciting and crazy things. So don't bring in everything, because then you won't have a bottom line, but look at what is up and coming. Is it a fad or a trend? Does it speak to what your business could offer? And ask your clients for feedback, ask their input. Next, I'm going to group these two together as working together with industry experts and kind of creating a sharing economy. So I think, as much as I love this industry, we've got two ends of the spectrum. A lot of us, because we've worked really hard to build our businesses and to create our offerings for our consumers, we kind of want to hold on to everything we know, and the mindset of a sharing economy or networking with industry experts doesn't happen. And what I've seen COVID-19 do for us as an industry is it's forced people to pull together. We've got these beautiful WhatsApp community groups of different salon owners from all over South Africa working together, sharing information. We've got brands pulling together, having regular touch points to see how we can support you as an industry. We've got Pro Beauty, SASP, and all the other forums and bargaining councils and pulling together, keeping us updated. And to be honest, it shouldn't take a crisis for us to be able to do that. It's something we should be doing, because if we're working together and then taking plans and implementing them according to our business needs, we will ensure the industry is sustained, the businesses are sustained, and that we're all able to work moving forward. So there are new rules of the game, and the new rules of the game really heavily speak to authenticity and transparency. So what do you want to do in your business, and how does that speak to the brand you've created for yourself? And are you being open and honest, almost vulnerable with your consumers? So what's been amazing in this COVID-19 is that I've seen, some salon owners who have been in this industry for 15 to 20 plus years suddenly posting selfies and how-to videos on Instagram, and it just makes me so excited to see all of you embracing this new normal and a way of you trying to sustain your business. So well done for embracing this new way that we've got to connect with the outside world. Ethics and humanity, so the human element of how we do business, making sure we do things ethically. So I love that, I don't love that we're trying to stick to the rules and we can't open our businesses yet, but I love that as an industry we are standing together to make sure that we don't break the rules, so that we can eventually open, hopefully sooner than level 1. Taking accountability for our businesses and for the people that work in our businesses. Of course, being sustainable, being planet friendly, which always needs to be a focus, and really leveraging values that matter to you. So in business schools and, if you read journal articles, there's a big theme of values-based leadership. Now, a lot of people hear the word leadership and they get thrown because they think leadership is the government and the community leaders and the boss and somebody up there. We always think it's another human sitting there. But leadership is you. If you've got a family, you're a form of a leader. If you've got a team, you are a leader. If you inspire other people, you are a form of a leader. And I think how you showcase that and the place that you come from, values-based leadership speaks to leading from a place of your values and what's important to you, because then that allows you to be authentic, transparent, and run your business in an ethical and sustainable way. So an incredible video, which I wish I could play for you, but unfortunately the one thing Zoom is not great at is playing videos through Zoom, is Dr. Vandana Shiva, and I encourage all of you to please YouTube this video. This is a video we stumbled across in February, and I cannot believe how synchronous it is with what we're experiencing now in the world, but it basically speaks to the fact that we all have a part to play in looking after the earth and sustainability, especially as women and especially as people in this industry. So guys, this is not an attack on men, and it's not a sexist debate. It's just how the role of the woman has evolved, and how we are built to care for others. We are built to give a caregiving service, and how amazing that we're in an industry that allows us to do that. So please go and watch her video. It is absolutely exceptional. And the rules of the game are all about vision. And yes, vision for your business, but vision for a bigger or greater good. It took someone like Greta, a 15-year-old, to leave school and start a global movement on climate change, where she challenged world leaders to ask them what they're doing about the situation, because her kids might not have the world we have today. And I think if someone like a 15-year-old can make the decision to jump out of school and do this, any of us can make a difference. No one is too small to make a big difference in the industry, in society, and for sustainability, whether that's environmental, organizational, or business. I often hear business owners saying things like, "Oh, but I just own a small salon at home," or "I'm just a therapist." Guys, we've got to change that mindset. You've got such incredible power in your hands to change the industry, to change the way people feel. And what's so relevant for me is, yes, I'm going to quote a Jane Warren quote, because she is someone I aspire to, is in 2015, Jane held a conference and she said, "We are yet to have the greatest impact on our planet of any industry." And the reason she said that is because we connect with people on such an incredible level. We connect with them, we touch them, COVID depending, but we have the ability to change how they feel from when they entered our business to when they leave our business. And I don't know about you guys, but just having that power and that ability, that means we've got the power to make an impact on the world and an impact on sustainability. So, we've all got the ability to do one small thing to have an impact on the greater good. And whether that's changing the way you lead your team, whether that's changing things you do in your business to have a positive impact on the planet, or whether that's questioning some of your suppliers and asking them how they are supporting sustainability, every little step will have a ripple effect. So that is me done. And I wanted to check in if there's any questions or conversation.
Hi, Lauren. We do have a question from anonymous attendee. Hello, anonymous. You have just given a lot of suggestions for going green. But if I were to do just one change, what would you suggest I do first? Good question.
Very good question. I think for me, it would be looking at your business and having a look at what you do the most of. So for example, if nails is majority of your business, or 60+% of your business, that would be a great place to start in looking at, how do I do differently in that sector? So is it that I'm relooking my consumables? Are we putting new hygiene measures in place to ensure that the sanitization products we're using are not chemical based that are damaging the environment? What nail polishes am I using? How am I ending off my treatment? So that could be one aspect or one place to start. Or alternatively, you could take more of a broad scope. And again, you could almost do that triangle that I spoke about. So you could have a high level view of, what am I doing externally, internally, and with people? And to be honest, the first three things that come up in each of those categories would be where I would start, because obviously they're tip of tongue and they're front of mind. But there isn't really a one size fits all for going green. It really depends on your business.
Okay, cool. Wendy Kutsia has also asked a question, but it's not actually to do with sustainability. It's all about suppliers advertising that can sell all products, etc. We have a webinar this afternoon, Wendy, at 2 p.m., where we will be dealing with that whole subject of what suppliers can sell, etc. So please do tune in for that one. You can register through the website, or we will be streaming it on Facebook. But hopefully that will bring a bit more clarity. We've got a few panelists with some great knowledge on that. So we got no other questions there, Lauren, but I just wanted to emphasize that the one thing the COVID-19 pandemic has done is shown through, the reports about dolphins in the Grand Canal in Venice and all those things, and even looking up at the sky in Joburg, how much clearer the atmosphere is. And it's such a graphic, real demonstration of how much we as a species can stuff up the planet.
Yeah, I mean,
short time, we've made such a difference.
It's a very valid point, Phil, and it's always a bit of a nerve-wracking, how much of that do I bring into my presentation, because it obviously depends, everybody's beliefs are very different. But if you notice over the last couple of years, I always say the universe has a way of, and that's why the Dr. Vandana Shiva video is so critical, because it speaks to that point. The universe always fights back. So when she's feeling suffocated, something happens. And when she's feeling annoyed, there's a disaster that happens here. And as terrifying and as terrible as that stuff is, it's almost the Earth's way of going, okay, I tried to warn you, you didn't listen, so bam. So yes, the positive offspin of this is that we are seeing clearer waters, bluer skies, people who usually work in factories with breathing difficulties now being able to breathe for the first time I saw an article the other day on a journal, for the first time in 18 months. So, the human well-being aspect and the planet's well-being is just, it's unbelievable. And hopefully when we can all go back to our new way of being, we don't forget about that, and we try to do things a little bit differently to ensure that the Earth doesn't fight back again in a vicious manner.
Yeah, great. Okay, no more questions on the Q&A, nothing on the chat. Thank you for what has been a very interesting and detailed presentation. I hope that people are able to take something from it and make a difference, even, as we say, in a small way.
Yeah, Phil, there is just one more question if you want me to quickly answer it.
Oh, it's coming already. Yes, yeah.
So the question is, do you really believe we will go back to living normally? As much as I'd love to say that I'm a psychic and I've got a crystal ball, I absolutely am not. To be honest, I don't think there is going to be a normal or normal. I think we've had to pivot with everything that we do, how we connect with people, how we travel, how we live our life. So are we going to go back to normal? We will have to create a new way of being.
Right. Very much. Yeah, who knows? But okay, great. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks for having me, guys, and have a good rest of your day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye now. Bye. Tasha.